Alright folks, so splayed out before you is the PLCE system. Sorry about the weird angle if you don't like it. It's just kind of what I have to work with. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the PLCE itself, and then I'm going to talk about what's in the pouches, why I carry it, so on and so forth. Just right off the bat, I'm going to tell you guys, I know this is designed for or I should say up to 48 hours for a soldier to use, operate out of while they're in the field, so on and so forth. Me personally, I'm just using this as a patrol rig on my property, a 24-hour system, maybe even 24-hour system camping, so on and so forth. We'll kind of discuss that. So, what you get when you order this, at least what I got, was the 2 double magazine pouches. You get the, I call it hydration pouch, and then also you get the utility pouch. That's kind of what I got, along with the harness and the belt, for $61. And that's kind of a steal, and that was from Army Navy Outdoors, I think it was. Either way, you guys can just Google it, hit shopping, it's going to be right there. So, that being said, you get this awesome harness. Not much to it. It does have double stitching in all the places that it needs to. These, I call them cinchers, probably the wrong term for them, but whatever. These cinchers, these buckles, if you will. There's 6 of them total, obviously. So 4 right here, then 2 in the front. But they're ABS plastic. So if that kind of bothers you, you want something metal, maybe get an older model of PLCE, or maybe just kind of find your own. So either way, just letting you guys know it's ABS plastic. It's not a deal breaker for me because a lot of the stuff I take in the woods during the winter does have ABS, like buckles and straps and cinchers and whatever on it anyways, so who really cares? As long as you're not sitting there like banging rocks against it when it's really cold out, you'll probably be fine. So there's that. The webbing itself does not feel cheap or chintzy. It actually has some thickness to it, so that's good there. It's webbing, I guess, straps, whatever you want to say. So there's that. The shoulder pads itself are not terribly padded. Pretty much, well, I should say they're more padded than that USGI 3-day assault pack, but not by much. And obviously it goes with what I call the snowshoe effect. So these are actually really wide straps. That's why it's comfortable to carry, because the loads and the weight's being distributed out over a wider area. So there's that. These straps are actually attached to, I call them square rings, because I don't know what the heck kind of thing that is, but whatever, square rings that are then sewn on by 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of stitching right here. So it's really hefty, heavy duty. I like it. Now these pouches are held on to the belt individually by not only a snap and a Velcro strap, but also this tongue and groove system, as I call it. So you got this metal tongue that sits in these nylon grooves on the belt. And yes, you can move them anywhere you want to. You don't really necessarily have to put the tongue into the groove if you don't want to, but then your pouches are going to slide around everywhere. So kind of your choice. And snap that back up. Okay. So there's that. That's kind of how the system works. The belt itself is just kind of a typical nylon belt. There's not much firmness to it. It just is really floppy. The only thing I really don't like about the belt is that it's really slippery. If there's no pressure against this belt buckle here, it kind of tends to slip out everywhere. So I'd recommend either duct tape or some kind of belt keeper, something like that, to keep it in place. So, moving on to the pouches, guys. Like I said, you have 2 double magazine pouches on either side. So when you're sitting forward, they're going to rest right here about on you. I can't see that. Oh, yes, you can see them moving on the camera. But what I really like about the magazine pouches, guys, is the fact of this, right? They're not double stack, they're actually triple stack. There's 3 magazines per pouch. That's what I really like about it. Now, on some of the pouches, because it is military surplus, so it might be modified, it might not be, it might have some sparks in it, might not, whatever. There are there's a little tab of Velcro right here, and there's a Velcro, I guess, tab, if you will, right here as well. So what that means is you can actually sit there and put some either extra rations or medical supplies, something like that, in the bottom of this magazine pouch while you have this come forward and rest it a bit. And that gives you roughly, yeah, maybe like a ½ inch or so of space in there. Get out of here, horsefly, leave me alone. But that's what it gives you there. So if we could do math, there's 3, 6, 9, 12 magazines. If you load 30 rounds per magazine, that's going to be 360 rounds of ammunition you're going to be carrying with you. Now, have one in the rifle, that is 390 rounds total of ammunition. I don't know about you guys, but that is a lot of ammunition to take with you. However, in hindsight, if you are expecting to run into trouble, okay, awesome. More magazines, the merrier. Because like I said before, I personally like to carry 10 magazines on me. So, yeah, 13 magazines is definitely a good thing for me. But if you don't want to carry magazines in this, obviously for like a day hiking, kind of camping setup or whatever, you can use your imagination to fill whatever you want with these magazine pouches. But back to shit's the fan and patrolling your own property. If you don't have enough magazines, get some more. But if you don't have enough magazines, or you don't want to carry that many magazines for whatever reason, you can always sacrifice one of these pouches to carry a sidearm if that's something you want to do. Say like you're like me, you're poor, you don't really have the proper holster for to go with the setup and whatnot because you're changing your setup now. Life is, is what it is. I can sit here and take my full size SR40 and throw it inside this magazine pouch. Now, the cool thing too, though, there's enough room in here for either a magazine, some more medical supplies at the bottom, obviously, or maybe perhaps some gun cleaning and lubricant and whatnot in there. So there's that as well. So that's kind of neat. I like that a lot. And those are the magazine pouches, guys. There's not much to them, but it's magazine pouches. Now, the hydration pouch, as I call it, I really like. And I kind of want to mention this about all the pouches that you get from military surplus, especially the PLCE. And I want to save it for this one, too, because you guys can definitely see this on camera. This actual, I want to say waterproof. I know most people would probably go, well, it's water resistant. Whatever. This waterproof rubberized coating that's on the actual flap here. Really, really nice. I really like that. Now, this pouch is big enough to hold a US 1-quart canteen. Obviously, the lid for the canteen cup because it's a Pathfinder system. However, what that means is that you can actually have enough room in here. Hopefully, I can tilt this so you guys can see. This little pocket right here. You can throw like silverware, some spices, water purification tablets, possibly a little cook stove in here, maybe. Just kind of, you name it, you probably throw it in there, guys. Just kind of a cool little feature there that I rather enjoy. Now also, I want to show, because it's obviously for all these pouches, there is the drain holes in the bottom. So if you take a dunk in a river or whatever and you stand up, all the water is going to drain out, or if it's raining heavily on you, it's not going to sit there and flood your actual pouches, so that's kind of a good thing. So there's that. Now over here, I have one USGI saw pouch, two USG saw pouch, and a Condor IFAC. So, doesn't come with this, guys. It's not the PLCE bag, but, hey, I also kind of want to show that you can throw other things on here, too. So first things first, I have 1-inch Gorilla Tape, full roll. What can you not do with duct tape? I don't know. You have bug spray, so black flies and mosquitoes don't eat your eyeballs out and drive you crazy. Along with that, you have a poncho. Now, granted, this is a Frog Talk poncho. I don't like it anymore. I only got it of like a crap, I need a poncho real quick. I was in Walmart, so I bought it, whatever. But I'm definitely going to be replacing that. I just wanted to throw it in there to show you guys, hey, if you have like a Swagman roll or something like that, guys, like a poncho of some kind that you can roll up pretty small, you can fit inside a saw pouch, throw it on this belt, and now you have not only rain gear, but you also have an emergency shelter system that you carry with you. Now, speaking of that real quick, because we talked about the drain holes and getting dunked and rained on and whatever, if you understand and you're already thinking, well, hey, that could happen just simply walking through the woods. You can get rained on, ruin your gear, ruin your radio, your knife and gun all rusty, whatever, right? Just a bunch of bad things can happen. If you have a poncho, you can throw it over all this stuff. You have an extra large rain jacket from, say, the USGI or whatever, right? You can throw all that over your equipment. It's going to remain dry, especially in the wintertime. Say you have a winter coat on or whatever. Try to get one big enough to throw over your gear. That way it stays warm, it stays dry, it's right there. Especially electronics, say like NGs or whatever, or NVGs, excuse me, or your thermal optics, right? Or even your flashlights. That way they stay warm so the cold doesn't suck your battery dry. So there's that. Now here, just again, it's your standard Condor Ripaway IFAC, nothing special. I know you guys probably like, where's your shears? Well, I'll get to that in a second. Because there's something I want to talk about here real quick, because I don't see a lot of people doing it. So obviously it's got the standard contents of the IFAC. It's got the decompression needle, it's got the NPA, gloves, cat tourniquet, It's got the stop the bleed stuff up here, so it's got your gauze rolls, your gauze pads, some ace wrap in here. Has a chest seal, hyphen vent chest seal, double pack right there. Now, when you have bleeding control equipment, again, gauze, ace wraps, whatever, right? Make sure they're either A, in their own actual waterproof sealed bag that either it came from the manufacturer in. If not, go the cheap route, get a Ziploc bag, right, and throw that stuff in there. This nylon shell is not going to be waterproof for very long. It could be water resistant, like if I spray you with a hose or whatever, sure, probably won't get wet inside. But if it's raining or it's sleeting or it's freeze-thaw conditioning, yeah, that's going to get all this stuff wet and ruined, and it's not going to do you any good trying to stop a bleed with wet gauze. So there's that. Now, the shears I don't have on the outside just because they are a blaze orange color. And I'll explain in just a second as soon as I get this all taken care of, because I don't want to like tear everything apart. Always double cross your zippers, especially slipper ones, because Murphy's a dick and he likes to open those up on you. The shears, guys, from a medical kit actually rest over here. Okay, these are X shears. I would actually recommend X shears over your typical trauma shears because these are way thicker jaws and they don't flex and they don't twist and they don't bind up. I've cut through multiple layers of denim with this stuff along with leather jacket, and it did beautiful, did fine. It's all good. It's blazed orange, guys, not because of this purpose, but it's because I worked in EMS and nursing, so I don't want to lose my shears, especially if I'm really looking for them in a hurry. So next up is your sustainment bag, okay? So again, operating for 24 hours, so I have some beef stick, low sodium, homemade trail mix. Now, everything that goes in must come out if your body's working right. So, ever important TP, want that. And also a couple fresh pairs of socks. Now, pro tip here, guys, rucking, hiking, whatever, anything outdoors where you're walking a lot. I have a cotton poly blend sock here and my merino wool socks here. Okay, these are like 80% merino wool. These are, I think, 60-40, 60 poly, 40 cotton, if I remember correctly from the store. Now, I got these poly socks just to try them out. Like, okay, I want to see, am I going to get hot spots hiking or blisters or whatever. I think that hike was 3.5 miles. No issues, no problems, nothing like that. Now, granted, this is where the tip comes in here, okay? If you have fresh socks like this, take some body powder, throw it in the bag as well, kind of mash it up, spread the powder around inside your socks, whatever, throw it on the ground, who cares? But my thing is this, though, put powder inside here and kind of mash up your socks. That way, when you take a break to eat, drink, just change your socks because you need to, whatever, right? You can actually already have powdered socks on your feet, which can help control moisture, bacteria growth, so on and so forth. Those dirty old socks, okay, fold them inside out, so the inside is on the outside, obviously, and let them air dry, sun dry, whatever. And when they're actually dry to the touch, have a separate bag of body powder for the dirty socks and the body powder in there. Throw the dirty socks in there with the body powder. Do the same thing. So if you have to rotate them through and you're in an environment where you can't wash your socks for whatever reason overnight or something like that, at least you'll have nice powdered dry socks. They're going to feel decently fresh on your feet. So there's that. Now, let me throw all this back in here as well. And I understand you can throw like really any kind of food in here you want to. I'm just saying I go for the macronutrients of fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. That's kind of what I go for when I stack stuff. Well, I guess you say stack stuff for food. Now, this pouch here, this other USGI saw pouch, it's got my nav bag in here. I got my Sunsu 2, MC2, pace speeds. That's what I have in there, guys. That's all got a carabiner on the back here. So if I wanted to, I could just clip this to the front of my harness, especially if I'm just out camping or hiking or whatever. I just have it here. Who cares? In here I also have some sniffle gear. So it's June up here in the UP, obviously so, like it is everywhere else in the world. However, it still gets really cold at night up here. I don't know why, but it does. Like last night was 34? Yeah, 34 degrees. And that's kind of cold, especially if you are just wearing layers, even a base layer or whatever, and your normal clothes. That's going to be cold. So wool hat and some brown jersey gloves. I just chose Jersey gloves, guys, because they're cheap, they're readily available, they're breathable, they work for me. Whatever, you can wear whatever kind of gloves you want to, but I mostly have them because of camouflage purposes. So white hand, brown Jersey glove hand. This blends into my environment way better than my white ass hand. So, along with that, notebook and a pencil to take notes with. I should probably throw this in a Ziploc bag. I didn't though, but whoops, oh well. So there's that. Some small binoculars, so if you don't have an optic on your rifle, or again, you're hiking, bird watching, whatever, you can actually carry a small pair of binoculars so you can scout out ahead, scout out an area, whatever. You guys get the gist. Talked about the shears already. In here, I got some ibuprofen for some pain relief. I know it's kind of shaking, whatever. I need to put some toilet paper back in here so it stops making noise when I walk. Along with that, I have the UV5R always ready to go. We got the radio pre-programmed with the channels in it. And now we're over here on towards the end here. Again, two triple stack magazine pouches. There's that, along with my extra magazine for my pistol, and that is just 165 grain hollow point for my 40 caliber. Why 165 grain? I don't know. I just like to shoot it, so that's what I have. So guys, that's pretty much a wrap for the P.L.C.E, what I carry with it. Hopefully I gave you some kind of ideas of what to carry with you on a 24-hour mission, if you will, or really just patrolling your property. And like I said, I would like to modify this a little bit more. Like, for example, I'd like to carry another source of water someplace on this belt and maybe sacrifice something else. I do carry, or I shouldn't say carry, I do wear a plate carrier when actually shit would go wrong. That way I have some kind of body armor, some kind of protection, and I'm not just hoping the person misses. So I'd probably remove my IFAK and probably scoop this over a bit and throw my other canteen somewhere over here so it's more balanced out. Either way, guys, kind of play with the system, do what you want with it. As always, guys, stay frosty, prop up, yeah, bless.